Are you ready to buy an audio interface but are feeling a wee bit overwhelmed with all of the different models, features and prices? In this video, I'll share some of the best budget options out there. A quick disclaimer before we dive in, this video isn't sponsored by anybody. However, a couple of the audio interfaces I'm going to mention were provided to me by their prospective manufacturers for review in other videos. So for the sake of transparency, I'll let you know on screen which interfaces I didn't pay for out of my own pocket. Also, every interface I'm going to talk about works on both Mac and iOS, so whatever platform you use to make music, you'll hopefully find these recommendations helpful. Right then, let's get started with the cheapest audio interface on this list. What really stands out about this audio interface is, unsurprisingly, the price. With the M-Track Solo, you're getting a combo jack input for an XLR microphone or quarter-inch instrument input, as well as a dedicated instrument input, 48-volt phantom power, and the ability to directly monitor your signal. It's essentially got all the features you need to get up and running for $50/38. That is incredible value. Now, at that price, it's obviously not perfect. It's made completely from plastic, for one. Plus, it's the only interface in this video that only has a bit depth of 16-bit and sample rate of 48 kHz. Also, if you plan to use this with an iPad, you'll need an adapter regardless of the model, as the M-Track Solo uses an older USB connection. With all that said, however, I genuinely believe you will not find a better audio interface at this price point. You just won't. It has everything beginners need to get set up and recording, including a sweet selection of free virtual instruments and effects, and is small enough that mobile musicians can chuck it in a backpack and use it anywhere. Coming in at around $99 or £89, the Arturia Minifuse 1 offers a huge jump up in quality across the board when compared to the M-Track Solo. Now, you only have a single XLR combo input here, but the superior sound quality more than makes up for it, I think. It is worth noting that if you like the Minifuse 1 but would prefer the flexibility of a second input, the Minifuse 2 is available and will set you back around $50 more. You're getting all of the essentials here: 48-volt phantom power, direct monitoring, as well as a quarter-inch headphone output. The Minifuse 1 also has a real-time colour-coded output meter, as well as a backlit volume knob for the input, which lights up red when your inputted signal is too high. The feature that really makes the Minifuse 1 unique, however, is hidden away around the back of the interface. Alongside outputs for studio monitor speakers and the USB-C output used to connect the Minifuse to your Mac or iOS device is an extra USB-A port. This is ridiculously handy, as it allows you to attach things like USB keyboards directly to the interface. As you can imagine, this is a particularly useful feature for iOS users, as you can hook the interface up to your iPad, for example, directly, and then use the Minifuse's extra USB port to attach a Midi controller. Super duper convenient. Couple that with a fantastic suite of free software and instruments, it's dead easy to recommend the Minifuse 1 to anybody just getting started, especially those that like to tinker about with synths and USB keyboards. Next up, and going for around $129 or £100, is the Audient Evo 4, a really flexible audio interface with a truly unique design. The two combi jacks on the back of the interface will take XLR microphone and regular jack inputs. Plus, there's also a dedicated guitar/bass input located on the front, which routes to channel 1. Yes, that's 3 inputs packed into this really small interface. Everything here from the headphone output volume to the gain for each input is controlled via the massive knob right in the middle of the interface. It's a really different and intuitive way of working. One of the standout features of the Evo 4 is Smart Gain. If you're a beginner and aren't quite sure how to set your gain levels properly yet, or if, like me, you're just a bit lazy, you'll find this feature really useful. How it works is when you've got everything hooked up, hit the green Smart Gain button, select the input you want to set, hit the Smart Gain button again, and then play or sing for 10 seconds while the Smart Gain analyses your inputs. It'll then set the right gain for each of them. This is incredibly useful if you're perhaps a little bit unsure of how to properly set the gain for things like microphones or different instruments. It's also really handy if you just want to jump in and start recording with the minimum of setup or fuss. The Evo 4 comes with a good selection of software too, including some iOS-specific freebies, a rarity when it comes to audio interfaces. It's a really flexible, budget-friendly audio interface that smaller footprint and weight that its fully plastic construction provides might suit mobile musicians in particular. Up next and coming in at around $150/£115 is an audio interface that probably needs no introduction. This wee red box is one of the best-selling audio interfaces ever, and it's really easy to see why. Fantastic build quality, a dedicated XLR input, plus a separate instrument input, and all the other features you would expect, like 48-volt phantom power and direct monitoring. It also has those iconic Scarlett gain holos around the input gain knobs that light up green when your inputted signal is at optimum level and red when you're clipping. It's an incredibly well put together, great sounding and dependable wee interface, but what really sets the Scarlett Solo apart is Focusrite's patented air mode. Focusrite claim that activating air on the XLR input will give your recordings a brighter and more open sound, which does sound like a bit of a gimmick, but actually does make a difference, especially when it comes to acoustic and vocal recordings. While maybe not as exciting as some of the other interfaces on this list, there's a reason why this is one of the most popular audio interfaces on the planet. It just works, and will continue to work, probably for years. Alright, the last budget audio interface on this list, the Universal Audio Volt 1, is a little bit of an anomaly. It'll cost you around $150 or £120, and on paper doesn't seem like all that much of a good deal really. The Volt 1 has a single XLR/quarter-inch combo input, phantom power, direct monitoring, and all that good stuff found on every single other interface I've talked about so far. It does offer a few things that you just won't get with any other audio interface though. Universal Audio are famous for their premium audio interfaces, the Apollo series being the most famous, and they've managed to pack a lot of that premium feel and, more importantly, sound quality into their budget line of interfaces, which results in the entire Volt range, including the Volt 1, punching way above their weight sound quality-wise. If all you are interested in is producing the most pristine, crystal clear audio possible, this is the interface for you. Like the Scarlett Solo, the Volt also features a second available mode you can activate at the touch of a button, Vintage Mode. This mode gives you the rich, full sound of an iconic Universal Audio preamp, thanks to its built-in tube emulation circuitry. Throw in stellar build quality and other premium features like Midi in and out sockets on the back and an actual on-off switch, and it becomes quickly apparent that the Volt 1 is worth every penny of its hefty price tag. Hopefully this video's helped you come to a decision on what budget audio interface is right for you. You'll find links to all the gear mentioned in this video down below the like button. And if you want to find out more info on the audio interfaces mentioned in this video, including things like deep dives into their included features and sound demos, watch this playlist next.